Hey guys, Jen here, the Feel Good Life. Well, I have filter questions in my business. I might have to move because sometimes the internet is so fucking bad in this area. Okay, so the reason I have filter questions in my business is because I spent a lot of years in my business doing stuff that I did not enjoy, that did not feel good to me. Whoops, almost lost that there. Anyway, yeah, so I spent a lot of years in my business doing things that didn't feel good to me, that I didn't actually enjoy, that I didn't really want to be doing, but I was doing it because I thought I had to, because I thought that, you know, if you have skills or if you have a degree in something or if you have experience in something, that you have to do those things to make money, or you have to do those things in your business, right? Like I had convinced myself that I had to do that stuff. But it's nonsense. It's actually not true. You don't have to do anything in your business or in your life that you don't want to be doing, that doesn't feel good to you. And if there are things that don't feel good to you, there are ways to change them. So I thought I would share with you the filter questions that I use for when I'm deciding whether or not I want to offer something, whether I want to create a product, or when I get a download for like an offer I could create or a program I can put together. I have a set of filter questions that I use, which basically help me to make sure that I am doing what I actually want to be doing in my business and not continuing to do things that I don't want to do. And I know that seems like, oh, how hard could that be? Why do you need questions for that? You will be so surprised how easily things get like where you think like, oh, this is a great idea. And you're not even realizing like how easily you're tricking yourself into doing more things you don't really want to be doing. So these filter questions help me to make sure that I'm not saying yes to things I don't want to be doing, that I'm not launching or creating things that I don't want to actually be selling, and that everything that I am offering is in alignment for me and that feels good to me. So these are my filter questions that I like to use. So the first question, the most important question of all, is this whatever it is, so whether it's an idea for an offer or a program, or whether it's a workshop idea, or whether it's a project that someone has come to me with, or a client project or anything like that, first question, is this me being me, or is this me teaching and preaching from a skill that I learned outside of me? So what I mean by that question is the offer that I just downloaded, or the idea that I just downloaded, or the program, the product, the whatever, is it me just being me, right? So is whatever the idea is just an extension of me being me, right? Me just naturally being the high vibe, feel good, like energized, like just wanting to help people have happy lives, wanting to help people feel really good. Like that's me being me, right? Like that's not me doing a skill that I've learned somewhere. Like that's just me who I am, right? That's my natural personality, is that I'm a happy, upbeat person, that I always want to help people to feel the same way, and that I've done that pretty much my entire life. Like I've always just been that way. So I am now refusing to have a business where I do anything except just be me and get paid for it. So in that, obviously, I have to make sure that I use these filter questions. The number one question being the most important, because if the offer isn't me being me, if the offer is me teaching from a skill that I learned outside of me. Now, what I mean by that, again, is it's a skill I picked up in my journey, right? So I went to college for something. I went to college for journalism and PR and writing. So that's a skill I picked up along the way. Although I pretty much feel like I've been a writer since birth anyway, but obviously I learned in a traditional sense to be a writer when I went to college. So that is a skill that I learned. Marketing, online marketing is a skill that I learned as I did my corporate jobs and stuff like that. Helping people publish books is a skill that I learned. Editing books is a skill that I learned. None of that stuff is really me being me fully. That's just me doing a skill that I have, right? Using a skill that I have to make money. Now, nothing wrong with that if you're using a skill in your business that you actually enjoy and have a lot of fun with. But for me, that stuff never really fully filled me up, right? It always just made me feel like I was doing something because I could help somebody, but it didn't really feel like this is just me being me. Like this doesn't feel like me just being me. This feels like me attempting to create a business about something that I know how to do, right? A skill that I've learned. And I don't want to do that anymore, right? Because I don't want to have a business where I have to have deliverables, where I have to do things to, just like create things that are outside what I would consider like me just being me, the extension of me just being me. So this question allows me to now make sure that I'm not creating or offering things that are me using a skill that I have, and instead it's just me being me. So that's the first question. Is this me being me, or is this me teaching from a skill that I learned outside of me? Okay, so with the offer that I downloaded recently, I asked myself that question, and it was a very easy, this is me naturally being me, because for my entire life, I've been entrepreneurial. I've had an entrepreneurial spirit. I've literally, every single thing that I did as a kid, I would always say, how can I make money from doing this? And my siblings, like, they will tell you, like, they used to get super annoyed with me because I was always like, ooh, how could we make money from this? How can we get paid to do this? And they'd be like, shut up, we just want to paint, or like, shut up, we just want to play school or whatever. And I would always be like, ooh, how can we make money from this? How can we make money from this? Like, that's just me naturally, right? I just have an entrepreneurial spirit as a natural extension of who I am. So when I downloaded the offer for the Feel Good Business Audit, that was exciting for me because it was like, yeah, that's just me being me, right? That's me showing people what I did in my own life, in my own business, like me acting on the things that I enjoy that are really just an extension of me. So like being an entrepreneur, feeling good, like all that stuff is just me being me. So that offer made it through the first filter question into the next question, right? And there are 4 questions. So if the offer or the idea or the client or the project or whatever doesn't make it through all 4 of these questions, then I don't do it. So the first question is the most important. And a lot of times, like, the offer dies right there, right? The product dies right there because I'm like, no, this isn't me being me. This is me using a skill that I have, and I don't want to do that. So I choose to not do it, right? And I just don't do it. But if for some reason the offer does make it through that, right? So now we have 3 more questions to go through. So the second question is, will this help my soulmate people live a better, happier, more feel-good life? So that's the next question, right? Because everything I'm doing in my business now is about feeling good. It's about showing people that feeling good is not only the point of everything they desire, but also the path to getting it, to receiving the things you want. Like, it's always on the feel-good path. So the question, will this help my soulmate people live a better, happier, more feel-good life, is super important to me. Because if the offer won't do that, if the product won't do that, if the things I'm creating won't do that, then I don't want to create them. I would rather create something else that will do that, because that's what I want to be doing in my business. I want to be helping people to live happier lives, to live more feel-good lives, to have more feel-good businesses, because not only is that the thing that's changed my entire life and business, but it's also, again, the point of everything you want and the path to receiving it. So if you're currently doing things right now that don't feel good to you, that don't feel in alignment for you, that really you just don't actually want to be doing, but for some reason you're convincing yourself you have to, or you should, or whatever, those are not things that are going to get you where you want to go, because they don't feel good at the core. So that matters, right? So for me, it's, will this help my soulmate people live a better, happier, more feel-good life? Obviously, the Feel Good Business Audit would do that. So boom, it goes down to the next level of filter questions. Okay, I'm just going to grab some water really quick because I'm starting to like get really sweaty for some reason. Live streams like get me really pumped up, and then I get like excited. This is also really hot today. Anyway, TMI. Okay, that's just me being me, guys, right? Okay, third question. Am I totally in love with and obsessed with this offer or this product or this program or this client or this project, whatever, right? So the thing I put in for offer could be anything. You can change that. Am I totally in love with and obsessed with this offer? If the answer to that is no, or if it's I'm not sure, or if it's maybe, it dies right there, right? The offer dies right there, because I cannot go out and sell something that I'm not excited about, that I'm not obsessed with, because what ends up happening when I try to sell things in my business that I'm not feeling that way about, I don't do the work, I don't fully show up, I don't promote properly, I don't do the sales activities every day. Like, there's just so many things I don't do when I'm not completely in love with and obsessed with the thing that I'm selling. So for that reason, if it doesn't feel that way to me anymore, it's gone. It's over. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to spend my time creating it, because there's no reason. It doesn't feel good to me. And most importantly, I'm not in love with or obsessed with it, which is needed in order to sell things, right? So Amazon, when it was first starting 20 plus years ago, like Jeff Bezos was obsessed with it. He knew that it was a great idea, and he was wanting to go out there and tell it to everybody who he could, right? He wanted to shout it from the rooftops. If he didn't feel that way, Amazon wouldn't be the company that it is today, or any company, right, that exists today. So You got to be totally in love with and obsessed with what you're offering or what you're creating or what you're selling. And if you're not, that can be a barrier to you actually going out there and doing the work required to sell it, right? So really, really important filter question for me. Okay, and then the final question that I use in all of that. So if an offer makes it through all three of those, there's one final thing, but pretty much if it's made it through those three, it's gonna make it through the final one as well, most likely. And that is, it's kind of a piggyback of the question number 3. So question 3 is, am I totally in love with and obsessed with this offer? And 4 is, so much so that I can get and will put my full energy behind it. Now this matters because energy is what sells, right? So people buy your energy. Now they are also buying the thing you're selling, but the reason that they want to buy it is because your energy behind it is so magnetic, is so amazing that they're like, I need more of that, right? Like I want to be part of this. So that is a huge piece. If I cannot get my full energy behind selling something, there's no reason for me to even bother because my energy is going to be the thing that either makes it work or makes it not work. So right there, it's like, oh, if this isn't something that I'm like, I'm super excited about it, I'm absolutely in love with it, like I know that I'm gonna put my full energy behind selling this because I'm so pumped about it, then again, it dies right there. It kills the offer or kills the product or the program or the project, etc. because I'm not gonna go out there and do the work that is required to actually sell it. And in that case, really, what is the point? So these are the 4 questions that I use, and I'll just read through them again really quick, just at once, so that you kind of have them in case you want to write them down or use them in your own business. You might want to change them, obviously, for your business and what you do in your business, but these are the ones that I like to use. So question 1, is this me being me, or is this me teaching from a skill that I learned outside of me? Number 2, will this help my soulmate people live a better, happier, more feel-good life? 3, am I totally in love with and obsessed with this offer? 4, so much so that I can and will, not just that I can, but that I will put my full energy behind it. So when I did that 4 questions for the Feel Good Business Audit, I was like, yes, like it slid through those questions so quickly because I was so obsessed with the idea. And then I went and did one and actually experienced it in person and enjoyed it and was like, yes, I want to do more of this. So the Feel Good Business Audit is now one of my main offers in my business. And I'm obsessed with it, right? Like I've been talking about it every day this week, multiple times a day because I'm so excited about it and so in love with it. I was never this way in my business prior to this year. And the reason was because I was in the wrong business, right? I was doing things from a skill that I have, from a skill that I thought I should be using because it's valuable, because I went to college for it, because I spent many, many years in corporate America doing it. But that's not a good enough reason to have a business, right? A business is not for you to just make money. I mean, if that's what you're here for, fine. But I know that my soulmate people don't want to just be in business to make money. They want to be in business because they want to help people. They want to enjoy their life. They want to have fun. They want to do things that they actually enjoy, that they're good at, and that brings them happiness and fulfillment. And if you're not doing that in your business right now, it's unlikely that it's going to be as successful as you want it to be. Or even worse, you could be really successful doing something that freaking sucks and that you hate. Many people have done that, myself included, right? So in 2017, I made $82,000 a year from my business and I was miserable. I hated what I was doing. It wasn't enjoyable to me. I wanted to put it off. Like there were little bits and pieces, of course, that I enjoyed, but overall, I was not happy. I was doing so many things that I did not enjoy. I was working with clients that were not aligned for me. Like there were just so many things. And I'm done, right? I'm not going to do that anymore. And I am honestly so grateful for the quarantine that we had this year because if it wasn't for that, I don't know that I ever would have fully made the rest of the pivot in my business. So I've been pivoting for almost 2 years now, but I was still holding on to so many parts of that business because I was afraid of what would happen if I let them go. And finally this year, I was like, you know what? This quarantine is an opportunity for me to let go of all this shit I was doing that didn't feel good, that wasn't aligned, that I'm not excited about, that I'm not passionate about, like just let it go. And when I did that, I could take the parts of my old business that I did still feel good about, bring them into my new business, and then create everything else around feeling good, which is what I did. And now I'm just obsessed with my business, in love with my business, so excited about what I'm doing. Like every day I just wake up feeling so excited and motivated and like ready to just get the day started. I have a hard time sleeping some nights because I just keep coming up with these great ideas and all these things I want to do. And it's like, It was never like that for me before. It was never like that until now, because I was doing things that I didn't actually want to do, that didn't really feel good to me, that were things I thought I should be doing or things I thought I had to do to make money. But all of that is BS, right? That is just one option. Yeah, you can do things you don't necessarily love. Yeah, you can make money from skills that you have, even if it's not something you really want to be doing. Of course, because there's a million different ways to make money in your business. But when you're doing it from a place of everything feels good to me, it's like game over, right? Because everything like is on the table at that point. You're not stressing about things. You're not worried. You're not freaking out. Like there's no resistance. There's no procrastination, because why would you procrastinate? You're excited about everything you're doing. Everything feels good. There's no reason to procrastinate. There's no reason to have resistance. So for me, this has been the most amazing change that I've had in my business. And I'm super excited for where it's going to go from here. And so, yeah, I just want to share all that with you guys. I hope those filter questions are helpful. So let me know if you create some for your own business, because I honestly think like sometimes just having questions that you can ask yourself whenever you are creating things or going through like different offers, like making sure that they are actually fully aligned for you. They are something you truly want to be selling, because again, if you cannot put your full energy behind it, it's not going to work anyway. And if you've had times where you've launched things or sold things and it didn't actually sell or it didn't work or any of that stuff, my guess is most likely it was your energy. It was your energy not fully backing whatever it was you were doing, because there was something in it that did not really feel good to you. And so you resisted it, you procrastinated on it, you maybe did the bare minimum, which is what I used to always do in my business, just the bare minimum every day, and that's it. But you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. It's allowed to feel good. You're allowed to do the things you enjoy, and only the things you enjoy. You're allowed to. And I'm living proof of that, because now I don't do things in my business that I don't want to do, that aren't fun to me. I just say no, and that's it, and I don't care. So that is all I wanted to share with you guys. I hope this is helpful. I would love to hear if you come up with your own filter questions, so share them with me in the comments. And if you want to make your business feel freaking amazing so that you no longer have to do things that suck, that you don't enjoy, that don't feel good, that you don't want to be doing, then send me a PM and I will give you all the details about the Feel Good Business Audit, which is where we go through every single little nook and cranny in your business and really get into how we can make it feel good to you, or can you move things, can you pivot things, can you change things, and really just making sure that everything you're doing feels good, right? Because again, feeling good is not only the point of the vision you have for your business, but feeling good is also the path to creating that vision. So that's what I'm gonna leave you with. If the Feel Good Business Audit sounds like something you could use, then send me a PM. And until next time, remember, feeling good is the point and the path.